This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
I said wherever. You heard me. One headline, I don't know if I want to read this story or not, but I was just looking at this kind of stuff. And by the way, I should probably lead the show with the fact that it's supposed to be a beautiful weekend as far as weather is concerned.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
So you guys know about this? I haven't even checked it yet.
I think it's our last weekend of warm weather before it turns into a nice little Minnesota fall / winter.
It's 41 right now. That's not exactly toasty either. Supposed to get up to what, 58 today?
Yeah, it's supposed to get like just under 60.
Yep, and then 60 tomorrow, 66 on Sunday, 74 Monday, 73 Tuesday, and then 55 on Wednesday.
And then raining in 55 Wednesday, right?
Yep.
Here it comes, damn it. You heard me. We were just talking about the fact it's Andy's birthday tomorrow. Andy's birthday always leads into terrible weather. Way to go, Andy.
Oh, thanks for that, Andy. Tell him to push his birthday back a couple weeks.
That's definitely his fault, and not the fact that it's just the time of the year.
Nope, it's his fault. There's no question about it. You know what's so funny about that? I was talking to Dougie because Dougie's birthday, Doug Sprinthal, his birthday is like the 4th of November. He goes, you know, you and me and Andy, we can all argue all we want, but we're here because of Valentine's Day sex. It's like, oh, okay. Well, I suppose if the timing works out, and it does work out, apparently. Such is life. Just a couple of headlines. I don't know if I want to read the stories or not, but if you can't stand on one leg for 30 seconds, you're old. Anybody could do that, can't? I mean, unless you've got some disability or something.
Yeah, I would assume that most can. I would also assume that most haven't tried. Like, why am I standing on one leg for 30 seconds?
That's true. That's a very good point.
Like, I don't know.
I got things to do.
Like, I've been doing it now. I feel like the past minute, it's not that hard. But also, when am I gonna like do that normally?
Yeah, like stand on one leg.
Yeah.
If you have to pee.
Oh, you get somebody like
challenging. I like it.
Stand on one leg for 30. That's like the new sobriety test or something for.
Exactly. I do load those cop videos though. All right, sir, got to give you a sobriety test. What are you going to do that for? I don't need that. Just blow into this. Blow into what? Yeah, you're in really great shape, pal. You guys can pick the story we can open up with.
Okay.
You got, why did Jamie Foxx's 2023 hospitalization, what did it have to do with Diddy? I didn't even know Jamie Foxx was in the hospital. Did anybody, you guys know that?
I vaguely remember, but
oh, you do? Or we can lead with 16% of Americans have lived in a haunted house. I never have, so I'm 84%.
Haunted house. And I'm pretty sure I've lived in a haunted house.
Really?
Yeah. In college, I'm pretty sure our house was haunted.
Over in St. Paul?
No, at NDSU.
Oh, that's right, NDSU. That's right.
Yep.
Did you ever come out of your bedroom and just go, I was working in the lab late one night? I have never experienced anything that could be possible. Well, that's not true, because when I was 4 years old, or maybe even still 3, my great grandmother, Susan Barnard, died. And she and I, even though I was a little kid, she and I got along really well because she was like 100 and I was, 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
But this actually did happen. And I can still see it in my head because I used to talk to her on the phone once in a while because she loved little kids. So I'm sleeping one night and I woke up and she was standing at the end of my bed. So I was talking to her for a little while. Mm-hmm. This all could have been a dream, of course, but this is what I remember. She's standing at the end of the bed, and then I found out the next day she is dead. What the hell's that? I mean, think about that. I don't find that spooky at all, but I was a little kid. I'm like, what? So what? So she was talking to me last night at the end of the bed, and now she's dead. It's like, no, that's not how it works. She didn't run down here from Long Prairie, Minnesota, 120 miles to schmooze with you at your bedside. Did you guys ever experience anything like that? You like talk to someone you found out later wasn't even supposed to be alive anymore?
No, can't say that's ever happened to me.
No.
So what's the spooky stuff you're talking about?
I mean, just a lot of things going bump in the night or in the day when nobody else is around. Like I remember there was one day where it sounded like essentially like somebody dropped a bowling ball on like the upstairs kitchen floor. Sure. And I went up there and like none of my roommates were home or just some weird phenomena going on, we'll say, in the house.
All right. So you got through it though.
Oh yeah. No, there was no paranormal activity or anything like that.
Stuff.
Nobody died.
How about you?
I have not had anything like that. Like I've had the door kind of creaks open, but that's just like the air comes on, and so all of a sudden the airflow pushes the door a little bit. But I've seen this guy on TikTok who lives in a studio apartment. I can't remember what city, but there's a closet that he has, and just randomly in the night, it'll be like the loudest, like pounding on the inside, and he'll just walk over and open it up, and it stops. No. And there's like hundreds of videos of this happening where he's like, people are like, oh, somebody's knocking. He's like, no, this is my entire apartment here. There's nobody on the outside. There's nobody in my hallway banging on the door. I don't know. Like if he's faking it, it's really well faked. But and he's like at the point where he's like having conversation. He's like, hey, I'm trying to sleep over here. Like, what are we doing?
No, so you got to move out if it gets to that point.
Well, he's made that point. He's like, no, if I move out, the ghost wins, and I'm not letting something dead win. And I'm like, that's how you get killed.
Yes.
I like that. All right, we shall take a break, ladies and gentlemen. There's a bunch of stuff. We will get to 16% of Americans have lived in a haunted house, because I never have. And I'd like, well, I suppose that one night it would have been. But she wasn't there to haunt.
No.
Yeah.
She's there to tell me, Tom, one day you're going to grow up and be very successful, but at a horseshit business called radio. It's like, thanks very much.
But you get to work with two handsome devils.
Passolt wasn't that handsome. Thank you very much. Great to be here. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you could ease those tensions just 48 minutes like I did? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you. Now, this is a very important part of this, because Mr. Money Talk can sit down with you and get you on the right track to your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions. He always will provide straight talk. That's the part about Josh Arnold I like. It's straight talk. It's like, oh, no, let me talk you into buying something just because I'll make more money. He doesn't do that. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. And again, that 48 minutes is free. So why wouldn't you want to take advantage of that? Do not let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. I mean, especially in these economic times when the Democratic and Republican Party are trying to screw you out every dollar you got. So that'd be good. Call Josh today, 952-925-5608, and set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That is 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings, or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
What the hell was that?
I have no idea.
What the hell is that, man? Let's take a second to talk about my bank. That'd be North American Banking Company and Bilski. You've heard me talking about them for a long time now. When they opened in 1998, they made a promise to deliver a better banking experience for their customers where you know your banker and they know you. And let me talk about that for a second. I've known Bilski for I don't know how many, 1,000 years. That's how long I've known him. He has helped me through some times. Do you ever go through that deal where you're helping out friends and all of a sudden your dough disappears?
Nope, I haven't had that.
Haven't been through that? Well, don't ever do it. Uncle Tommy's here to tell you, Tom, I really need you. Yeah, do you? Okay, good. Go to a family member.
Mm-hmm.
But Bilski is the guy that stepped in and said, no, this is not financially working out. This is not going to happen. Bilski's great with that stuff. You've heard me talk about him for a long time now. When they opened in 1998, made a promise to deliver a better banking experience for their customers where you know your banker, they know you. Well, a lot has changed since 1998. This commitment to being a true community bank of the Twin Cities has not. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Go to nabanco.com or stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Like I said, Bilski, just like Josh Arnold, these are my guys. I'm not making it up to try to sell you something. I know these people. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
I'm not looking at or talking to any sports people today. It's not going to happen. I hate the teams in this town more than I ever have. Phil. What am I going to do?
Little upset about Thursday Night Football there, Tom?
That team looked terrible. Their running game was just non-existent.
Let it all out. Let it all out. Yes.
I hate everyone and everything that has to do with sports.
The spin zone is 2 of 3 on the night isn't bad.
Well, I suppose that's probably
Bulls get a late night win out in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Wild
It is true, actually. Yeah, the Timberwolves, last 25 seconds with the ball, Anthony Edwards gets to the free throw line. Sacramento's no joke, man. That's a big win for the Timberwolves. Positive Phil is here for you guys on a Friday.
Positive Phil.
Yes.
Isn't that like having sex? Get it? Positive Phil? Anyway, moving forward with this filth.
Well,
I don't want to talk about sports. I hate that team.
Let me bring you some Vikings perspective here, okay?
All right. Sounds good.
This is what I find amusing about the whole thing is 3 months ago, nobody thought this was one of the best teams in the NFL. So you've got a group of fans that 3 months ago thought, 7 or 8 wins is probably what they're aiming for. If they could get to 9, that would be huge. And then they start hotter than they probably should have or than people expected. And their last 2 losses have come against, I think the Lions might be the best team in the NFL. And you lost a close game against the Lions.
Yeah.
It's the NFL. The average Super Bowl winning team the last 20 years wins like 11.8 games in the regular. Like you lose, the best teams in the NFL lose games. So you lose to the Lions. And then you come back here. We should have seen this one coming. Short week. Sean McVay, the Rams coach, is one of the best coaches in the NFL on short weeks.
Yeah. Yep.
He's 10-1 against the spread in his last 11 games on short rest. He's one of the best coaches in the league. And then right before the game, the Rams get 2 of the top 10 receivers in the NFL back healthy for this Thursday Night Football game. So you know what? You lose games in the NFL. They're not going to lose every game. They're probably going to win like 11 or 12 games, and we can all just take a deep breath here instead of riding the roller coaster.
Yeah.
No, I hate them.
But we looked really bad yesterday.
Terrible.
Like, we couldn't get any pressure on anybody.
Nope.
They're killing us with the short
Agreed.
game. Stephon Gilmore, he might need to get benched / cut. That might be the worst game I've seen him play. That's probably one of the worst games he's played in his career. Like he couldn't stop me from running routes outside right now. Like we go out in the parking lot and I'll cook Stephon Gilmore.
You'll cook his ass.
It was atrocious on defense.
It was.
And Darrisaw went down. There's not a lot of hope coming out of last night's game.
Now, do you have till 30 today, 8:30, or do you have to be off before that?
I have until about 26 because we're doing a bunch of post Vikings game stuff today.
Well, this will work because it was 5 minutes. I want you to be on because I want to take an early break and then come back with you for that 5 minutes. Jimmy Jomboy O'Brien founded Jomboy Media in 2017 with his best friend Jake Storiale to create original sports content that explains and celebrates the moments fans live for. We need that today, and I need you to talk to him about it. The fact that we need to celebrate something.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like you don't even need the intro. It's Jomboy, man. You got Jomboy coming up on your show. He is literally one of the biggest baseball content creators in the world the last 5 years.
So you know him, or you just know?
I've never met him, so I'm excited to maybe share some space for 3 minutes. But one of the third guy in their trio is Trevor Plouffe, former Twins player.
Sure, absolutely.
And Trevor is a friend and a weekly co-host and guest on the SKOR Twin Show. So we have like a mutual connection in the podcast world.
Well, that's not what Trevor told me. He said he kind of doesn't really care.
No,
oh, wait a minute. We're still on?
He goes there for Judd, not for Fitz.
It's for Judd.
And for Declan second. Yeah, you're probably right.
Oh, for Declan too. Yes. Let's not forget Declan. So
yeah.
Do you mind if we take a break right here? Then we come back and do more sports. And then when Jomboy joins us, I mean, you can even take over the interview because you know all about these people. No, is his friend's name Storiale or just Storial?
It's just Talkin Jake. Just call him Jake.
Call him Talkin Jake.
Jake from Jomboy. No one knows what his last name is. Yeah, no one cares.
I think this is going to be brilliant. You and Jomboy together is going to be pretty damn good.
It's going to be gold.
It's going to be gold. That's what I'm thinking.
Love it.
Because I'm not going to talk sports with him because I hate every team that Minnesota has ever had on any field or court.
I think the masses feel the same way you do this morning.
You might be right.
Yeah.
All right, let's take that break. Be right back. I am excited to hear this. It's going to be the Mackey Jomboy interview. It's going to be phenomenal. Don't you think? Now, how many hosts do you know that would just turn their show over to a coworker because they admire them so much?
I remember real quick. There was a long time, mostly late at night radio host in this town that did this one time where a young sort of up and coming intern part timer came back from a Twins game with some audio clips for the radio show and said, and the established host said, "Hey, do you want to sit in you want to sit in?" "Yeah, would love to sit in." They come back from commercial break. He says, "Here's your big break. See ya.
Goodbye.
2 hours left in the show. I'm going home."
Swear to God. Do I know this person that left and went home?
You know both of them, I think.
I think I do know both of them. We're not
late at night on the big AM flamethrower, the big 830.
830, the big 830.
There's a Dark Star story. Dark Star tossed the keys to Eric Nelson one time and said,
"Oh God,
have at it, kid."
I do miss Dark Star. I got to be honest with you. I do. I used to run into him over at Monte Carlo all the time.
Oh man, those Monte Carlo dry rub wings, talk dirty.
The best in town. There's no question about it. My buddy died though. The owner died. I always liked him a lot. He's a great guy. He just passed away, unfortunately. But yeah, let's take that break and get back so you can Jomboy it up.
Sounds good.
All right. South Dakota is one of the most business-friendly states in the country. And there's no better place to settle down and take advantage of those incentives than in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, which is a great town anyway. As the state's largest city with a metro population, it's around, 300,000 people. Sioux Falls has low business costs, high quality of life. That's what we're looking for. There's no state, corporate, or personal income tax. They don't have an inheritance tax. Boy, that would have really hurt me with all the money my father left me. Oh, that's right. Never mind. Sioux Falls, South Dakota was recently ranked the #1 best small city for business and careers by Forbes, #2 best state business tax climate by Tax Foundation, and the #5 top state for e-commerce by Nexus. As one of the Midwest's fastest growing cities, Sioux Falls is a robust growing job market. No matter where you're at in your career, we have an opportunity waiting for you. Our city's tax-friendly climate and strong workforce don't go unrecognized. Forbes named Sioux Falls one of the top small cities for business and careers each of the last 5 years. In 2020, Sioux Falls also ranked as the #4 best city for young professionals. How does South Dakota stack up against other states? We rank second in the nation for the lowest cost of doing business, the most business-friendly state, and the best business tax climate, which is very nice. And as South Dakota's biggest city, Sioux Falls is at the center of these benefits. Now is the perfect time to make your move to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Visit SiouxFallsDevelopment.com.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they taught you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees, they want to thank all of our listeners for your continued support. When Mike started MyPillow as just a problem solution, one product company, well, since then they now have hundreds of products some you may not even know about. For example, the brand new 4-pack dish towel is just $25. 6-pack towel sets just $25. Bed sheets, you got it for as low as $25. Check out their overstock and closeout sale and save up to 80% on select items. You're looking for a good night's sleep? Well, we all are. There's no question. Looking for a good night's sleep? Take advantage of the classic collection on a variety of MyPillows for as low as $9.88. These amazing offers won't last long, so order now. Just go to mypillow.com and call 800-516-5146 and use promo code TOM.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
We are back. Phil Mackey with us. Just let me know when Jomboy's ready to go.
Yeah, they might be running a bit behind. I haven't gotten that call yet.
That's cool. You know.
Yeah, I'll let you know that.
That's why we always get that open end to our deal, because nobody's ever on time.
Absolutely.
What the hell? Maybe they found out that Phil's on, so they just won't call in now.
That's what happened. See, that's why you shouldn't have teased me, And now he's like, I ain't gonna go on with that shock jock. That
you shock jock. I like that. You are a shock jock, don't you think?
According to my Twitter timeline this morning, just trying to be positive, Phil is shock jockey to people. Like, I'm just trying to bring a ray of sunshine here to a 5-2 Vikings team, and people are like, delete your account, delete yourself. People just want to be miserable this morning.
Well, those two games were pretty lame. We should have won both those games, but I just cannot believe that our running game just did not exist last night.
Yeah, I thought they would run the ball better too. Yeah, the Rams came in giving up 152 yards or something per game on the ground, and the Vikings took them like 20 attempts to get to 60 yards. So the math didn't quite work out for them. Also, it's a beautiful newish stadium there, that new SoFi Stadium, and it was just by all accounts like 40 to 50% full with Vikings fans.
I saw that. Jesus, it was a lot of Viking fans there.
So it's kind of like a home game. At one point, usually you don't get this, where the home team, Matthew Stafford's up there. It's so loud with Vikings fans at one point. He's clapping and trying to get the center to snap the ball, and he's yelling. And they take a 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, L.A. and Vegas are the two stadiums that it seems like they never really have true home games. That they get more away fans than they do.
Yeah, that makes sense. No question. We're good to go?
We sure are.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Jomboy O'Brien founded Jomboy Media in 2017 with his best friend, Jake. Now, do you pronounce Jake's name Storial? Because Jomboy, I will tell you something. Phil Mackey's with us. Matter of fact, I might turn it over to Phil Mackey, and I'll just jump in once in a while to insult both of you. What do you think, Jomboy?
That's perfect.
Someone's like, he's like, I'm done. Click. Peace out. See
Goodbye. Never talking to you again.
No, I was telling you guys that Jimmy and I share a baseball connection, and that Trevor Plouffe is a recurring weekly co-host on the SKOR North Twin Show. I covered Trevor Plouffe as a former Twins beat writer, and now Trevor is a big part of Jomboy Media the last few years. So we have a baseball mutual connection in Coach Trev, Jimmy.
Yeah, Trev is awesome, huh? I mean, if Jake was on here, he'd say nothing but nasty things. I don't have it in me. Trev he's awesome. Everyone loves Trev. We went to spring training with him, Twins camp, Phillies camp, Rays camp, and he liked to point out he had juice everywhere he went. Just friends with everyone. So that's cool.
This is a great situation. I love it because Phil Mackey and Judd's all glad they do SKOR North in town here, and I got to be honest with you. Do you want me to call you Jimmy or Jomboy?
You can call me Jimmy.
Jimmy's good. Okay. Well, first of all, I went to school with about 15,000 Jimmy O'Briens because I'm Catholic. So,
It's the common one.
It's a common one, though. Well, actually, very quickly, Jimmy, my brother-in-law, he married my oldest sister. I just love the guy. He's unfortunately no longer with us. But two things. His name was Patrick O'Brien, and he was half Puerto Rican. So let's guess if you wanted to piss him off. What do you think?
I'm more Italian than Irish. The Irish name will always be, O'Brien. You can't really can't say you're anything but Irish. So
that's very, very
my
true.
My kids won't know they're anything. They'll just be Irish.
Jimmy, it's amazing to me, and I'll turn it back to Phil here in a second. But man, people love your show. How did your show come about?
We just started, talking Yankees baseball because I was in California. Jake and my co-host was in Denver, and we didn't really even have our friendship community around us or anyone. We didn't have local radio that I would be listening to. So I said, hey, let's see if we can build our own community. I was just hunting for anything to do and keep myself busy. And the Yankees ended up having a good year, and it just kept snowballing and growing. And that base of community that listened allowed us to keep trying new things, which is very unusual. Usually your audience says, just do this one thing, but our like base allowed us to, I'm going to try this now, try this now, try this now. And they allowed us to, keep finding new winners. So we've grown it into a company now with tons of podcasts and original content. It just keeps snowballing.
Oh, that's wonderful. And you've been talking about 17? Sorry about that, Phil. 2017 is when you started?
Yep. Yeah. So that Yankees team, they go to Game 7 of the ALCS.
Yep. I love it.
No one expected it.
Phil, you had a question?
Yeah, Tom, do you remember the Astros trash can banging controversy from a few years back?
Yep.
Yeah, if I remember, I guess, and I'll spin this into a question for you, Jimmy. So Jomboy blew up with essentially film breakdowns where Jimmy does an amazing job putting together these investigative videos that started with baseball and now could be anything. But like, was that the first time that you guys started going like truly viral, or what was your first big sort of like lip reading film breakdown, Jimmy?
The first one that was really big was Aaron Boone's ejection when he called the Yankees savages in the box.
Tighten it up. Tighten it up.
Yeah. That whole ejection is really funny. Like his very first thing he yells is, a really bad start to the umpire.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a really bad start right away. So that was the first big one, but that didn't leave the world of sports. It left the world of baseball, and sports fans saw it. The Astros won. That story itself left the world of sports. It was on like the Daily podcast. It was just it was on nightly news across the country. So my video was attached to that story. I didn't do the early investigative work. I just found the audio and video to make it a little more easier for people to digest. And so that one went so big just because, that was a scandal, and the scandals have wings. That flew everywhere.
Jomboy, how about, so you're listened to all across the United States of America, I'm assuming? Yeah, we have national podcasts and then some regional ones as well. Yeah. Okay. The reason I brought that up is I've just gotten 3 phone calls, one from California, one from New York, and one from Texas. So apparently you have a rather large audience.
That's awesome. Yeah. Those are the hot spots. Those are the big cities. So
yeah, the hot spot's a big city. But that's kind of cool. I love that when you have somebody on and people start calling you or calling in or whatever. And I think it's just fantastic. First of all, Jomboy, thanks for coming on. After twice in 1 week, my family got my team got their ass handed to them. So, I was not in a great mood. Let me put it that way after last night. But now I'm in a terrific mood. What do you think?
Yeah. Thursday night football did not go our way.
No.
Well, will you be tuning into the World Series at all? Or is it once your team's out, you're out?
This is Montebello, California now. Jesus, Jomboy, you're a big deal. There's no question about it. I'm getting all these. That's my phone ringing. What the hell? Montebello, California. All right. In any case, Jomboy, what were you just talking about before? Okay, I'm gonna have to turn my watch off. That's all there is to it.
Tom, are you in on the World Series? I mean, this is like a throwback World Series, man. This is Dodgers Yankees for the first time since 1981. And so I turned 40 in the spring. I was born in 85. I've never Dodgers Yankees for decades, going back to the 50s, 60s. But are you jazzed for this, Tom and Jimmy?
Oh, I am.
Well, I am.
Absolutely. Seriously, Jimmy, I've been a baseball fan since I was about 8 years old. So it's been many, many years. My twins haven't won a World Series now in 34 years, something like that. One in 87 and one in 91. I guess would be, it's a long time. But there's something special, Jimmy, about baseball. I love football, basketball. I don't know much about hockey. I grew up in the inner city, and not a lot of hockey teams in the inner city. Maybe there are now. Maybe it wasn't back then. But I just, it's part of life. The World Series is a very huge deal in my head. Always has been.
Yeah, I am. This is like they call it the glory days of baseball when it was the Dodgers Yankees playing a lot in the World Series, and I haven't seen it in my lifetime. I'm not only is it Yankees Dodgers, but it's the two MVP winners. It's the two best records. It's, you know, it's the guys that MLB has been marketing for years and now meeting on the biggest stage. So I hope people tune in that don't tune in regularly, and I hope both teams put on a show and we get some close back and forth games. That's not going to be good for my heart or my health, but it'll be good for the industry.
It will be too. By the way, I'm supposed to ask you, does your manager live in Montebello?
No, I don't know.
Oh, good. Thank God. Because a lot of people thought they were calling me to yell at me for keeping you on too long. Jomboy, you got to come back more often. I love insider sports kind of people. And I have a couple of big sports fans on the show with me. I've been a huge Twins fan my whole life, which means I've been miserable for most of my life, but a couple of World Series in. But Jomboy, if you could check in to the World Series one or more, I'd love to talk to you again about this and see how you think and how Phil and Judd think the World Series is going. I love this.
Yeah, reach out. We'll figure out and find a time in between the late games and the heartaches, you know, especially if they're winning. It's going to be much easier if they're winning.
See, this is do you have a team in this?
Well, the Yankees.
Yeah, I got the Yankees.
Definitely the Yankees. What do you mean, the Yankees?
Jomboy is probably the lead Yankees fan in the country right now, I would say.
Mr. Yankee.
Jimmy, taking your Yankees bias out of it, do you have a analytical prediction for the series? Is it Yankees in 7? Is it Dodgers in 4? What do you think?
I think the Dodgers can win a short series and the Yankees can't. So I think there's certain things that can go wrong. If Walker Buehler, Flaherty both go, 6 innings pitched and get to hide some of that bullpen, then I think the Dodgers can win a short series. So I don't think the Yankees can win a short series. Their bullpen's not as deep, and their lineup's not as deep. So I think they're going to have to grind it out and take some hits along the way if they come out on top, where the Dodgers do have a formula here. So if Flaherty goes 7 strong tonight, then that's going to worry me.
This is fantastic. Jomboy, you got to come back, man. I thank you so much for popping on the show. I know Phil's a big fan, and I'm a big fan of Phil's. Once in a while, you got to lie on the show just to keep moving forward. But no, I look forward to it. Let's talk again in the next week or so. I would love to get your take on how the series is going. And by the way, the reason I keep talking about this is because I'm of the age where, to me, it's still the Brooklyn Dodgers. So there you go.
Yeah, we'll check in. Like I said, if they're winning, I'm answering anything.
If they're losing, you're not going to answer the phone. Is that what you're saying? All right.
It'll be a little harder.
Jomboy, you're the best, man. I look forward to talking to you maybe early next week. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Thank you, sir. Bye. You were right, Phil. He's phenomenal.
Yeah, maybe the next time you get him on, maybe he has a recommendation for who can buy the Twins. Does he know any billionaires who want to buy a baseball team? That would be my question.
Is it weird that they haven't had anybody reach out to them yet?
I think they have. I think they're just keeping it super under wraps.
Yeah.
And they'll just be an announcement at some point. There'll be like a national baseball insider will say the Twins have agreed to sell the team to whoever. I don't know. Well, an oligarch of some kind.
A couple of days ago, I offered them $75 million, and they turned me down for 2 reasons. Because it was not enough money, and they both said, "Yeah, like you got $75 million."
Yeah. That means I lowballed them with my offer.
There you go.
So you guys $1,000.
We'll start a GoFundMe to beef up Tom's Buy the Twins fund here. I think that's what we do.
What if? Well, you'd have to be a listener to this show to buy into the Twins.
And it could be like the Packers, where we just put together a fan ownership group, and you all, just like Packer fans, you all get a little certificate you can hang on the wall, and then we'll invite you over for a bagel breakfast once a year. It'll be great.
Like buying a star. It's about as significant as that.
It might be even less significant.
I adopted a monkey in the jungle that I've never. Yeah.
That's not. They're not calling in about the next guest or any of that stuff, are they?
No, they probably want some money from you.
That's what it is. It's money.
Probably.
All right, Phil, you're brilliant, man. I appreciate you hanging in. Do you want to say hi to Chris Egert before you leave? Because we're bringing him right on because we already did the break.
Yeah, real quick. Bring Chris on here real quick.
Here we go.
Hi,
Chris
Phil.
Egert.
Hey, Chris.
Bye,
Chris.
Hi, Phil. Good to see you. Hey, Phil, fill out your timesheet. Get your timesheet filled out.
Yeah, I saw that email. I'm sorry. Listen, sometimes I'm late on my timesheet. Roll Toms. Okay, row the boat, Sky Yuma, go Gophers.
Row the
Enjoy
boats.
your weekend, everyone.
All right, Phil. Thanks, Pally. Channel 5's Chris Egert News brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. What's going on, Chrissy?
Hello, Tomas. How are you?
Marvelous, except for I've gotten 4 phone calls from Montebello, California, or Montecito, California, and I don't know who'd be calling me 4 times unless they left another message. I don't know what this is all about. I'll have to check it out during the break. I wonder if they think there's supposed to be a guest on now or something.
I don't think so.
I don't think they're on. What that? So they're just calling to annoy me. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. Hopefully, there's no emergency that they're trying to.
Yeah, that would be good.
Could be a celebrity scam, Tom. Those are really going around all over the place these days.
What is that all about? What's with all the celebrity scam stuff that's happening?
I don't know, but it's all I've been hearing about. And it's too bad because it sounds like a lot of people are like losing money, which seems insane to me. But when you think about maybe people of a certain generation who aren't used to being on Facebook and think they're following like somebody's fan page, and it turns out it's somebody who's ripping off the page and maybe a little gullible. And I don't know. I've been hearing so much about that lately. So I don't know. Be careful. It's not like Liam Neeson asking you for money or something.
Liam Neeson, is he broke again?
That's one of the names I've heard thrown. I've heard that one thrown around.
What the hell's wrong with you?
He's got a special set of skills that make it perfect for taking money from some people.
I suppose that's true.
Hello,
So you got
Tom.
a big weekend coming up? What?
I'm stuck on an island. Could you give me some money, please? That's my Liam.
Money. Yeah, I've never been approached on that one before. Tom, I really need some cash. Yeah, great. Good for you.
That's
helping
good.
out people.
You're a little prickly. I'm guessing most people aren't coming to you for money.
No, they're not coming to pay me back the money. That's the part that's making me a little prickly. Help you out? Sure. I'll never see it again, but that's how it works.
I meant that with love, by the way. I try to be a little prickly. I try to be a little prickly around here sometimes too. Just sometimes you got to put out the vibe.
You know what I'm going to do tonight?
Ted.
I'm going to call your home number, and if your wife answers, I'm going to go, "Hey, is Little Prickly there?"
Oh, she'll call me Big Prickly. Trust me.
Pardon me. Okay, Rock.
Oh, I didn't mean like that. I meant like I'm a big prick.
Oh, you're a prick. Oh, okay.
I'm a big prick. Not that I have a. Yeah, no, not that at all.
What a clean straight. This is a family show all the way.
Chris,
Yeah,
did you manage to wipe all the paint off your hands after you climbed up on top of the governor's mansion and wrote "Walls failed" on the roof?
Yeah. I was going to bring that up yesterday. That is, and again, I know there's plenty of people who are listening to this who agree with the sentiment 100% and believe that walls did fail. That being said, it is mildly concerning that someone could get inside or on the top of the governor's residence, even though they're not living there. But still, that theoretically, if you could do that, you could do anything to that house or rig it or who knows. So that was interesting that somebody was able to do that.
You ever been in that residence?
I have.
It's beautiful, man. That is a beautiful house.
I was in there when Dayton was governor, and
okay.
Oddly enough, it was weird because he was really into his dogs, and he had like doggy gates all over the
what?
Yeah, it was so weird. Like, there's like dog, how like some people have dog gates set up in their house. It was just weird that like in the governor's residence, there were doggy gates set up. I guess I just wasn't really expecting that.
Yeah, we have a special meeting over here in this conference room. Step over the dog gate to get in.
Could you take that gate down? Hold on, I don't want anybody to trip over it. So yeah, it was kind of weird.
My worst memory of that place, Tim Pawlenty's the governor. We go to dinner, my family and Kent Herbeck's family. And then we went downstairs because they had one of those plastic dome covered hockey games.
Oh yeah, bubble hockey.
Fun.
Jesus, Palomino, was Kent Herbeck good at that? He was kicking everybody.
That tracks. That seems like, of course he was.
I hate Kent Herbeck. That's all I have to say. All right, Pally, what do you got planned for the weekend?
I'm gonna go watch a little football this weekend. The Tommies are playing on Saturday.
Yes, you are.
Weather
Good.
looks nice. The kid's not playing yet, unfortunately, but we'll be going to the game. So
How's he doing?
not great actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hear that.
I would say if we had an appointment at the Twin Cities Orthopedic has a specific concussion clinic now out in Eden Prairie.
Oh, okay.
And that what the stuff they're doing is light years ahead of what I've sort of seen with some of the other concussion protocol things. So if anybody who's out there listening as a kid or a grandkid in the concussion protocol, I would try to get an appointment out there because they seem to have their stuff together for what it's worth. But
Okay, I just got my 6th phone call, and now it doesn't say Montecito, it says Los Angeles, but it's the same phone number. Is your phone ringing too?
No, it sounds like that is somebody who's trying to find our building. I don't know. I didn't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is it? But I
Yeah.
thought they were supposed to come in. Oh
Yeah.
God, yeah, we got to get back to.
All right.
So, do you have the number?
I do not know, but I'll get it from you in the break.
Okay,
We'll call and
Jesus,
figure it
pal. I thought they were supposed to be on until the
they're calling-
family.
They're calling me.
Well, now they're calling you. Okay, good. Well, good. They can just sit through the whole thing, this show and the. Whoops, I think I just broke my phone. Geez, I'm having a hell of a day.
hey, thanks for taking us inside the process. This is enjoyable. It's
The
good.
guy's called like 5 times. I keep going, well, that can't be right. Unless they want to complain or bitch at me or something. Then it's, I understand.
Right.
So it's somebody, if somebody got here, because I thought they were supposed to come for the family show, which doesn't start for another 45 minutes. But if they want to be on this show, I don't care.
come on
Go
in.
ahead and sit
Yeah,
in. Works for
absolutely.
me, man. All right, Mr. Egert, what else we got for the weekend?
Well, there was a fire this morning down in St. Paul Park at a marina, and it was really flaming up there for a while. You got boats and you've got gasoline and fuel in them. That's usually makes for some pretty big fire. I don't know what the situation is yet. We assume nobody was hurt, but we don't know that for sure. Homecoming weekend at University of Minnesota. We also had a story. It happened a couple mornings ago, but we now know the name of the guy who was apparently driving like 100 miles per hour and ran into like 7 cars.
Oh,
right off of 94 in downtown Minneapolis, killed 1 person, injured several others, 8 other people. So that guy's name's Talon Walker, is now charged with criminal vehicular homicide. So
how old?
28.
Oh, Jesus.
And they do suspect drunken driving. So
That's why I asked how old, because that sounded like a youthful endeavor right there.
yeah, too bad. But
It really is too bad. So you only got 1 more minute. What do you got for the weekend?
yeah, I guess the homecoming for Gophers, they've got Maryland, I think, and they're both comparable record, I believe. So should be see how that goes. Decent football game. And the Gophers and St. Thomas are facing off in hockey this weekend too.
Really?
Yeah, and they did last year, and it was a real barn burner. So it's we'll see how that goes this Saturday. I know they're playing. So
Is it a barn burner?
Yeah, and I think they're going to be at the
I don't
X.
know.
Oh, really?
Is that at the X?
I believe.
Yeah, somebody offered tickets, and I kind of want to go, but we'll be at the football game all day prior to that. I'm not sure I'm not sure I have that much in me. That's a lot of sports.
Don't worry about a thing. All right, Pally. Well, thank you. I thought you did a brilliant interview with Jomboy, although you weren't on. Now, we had a guest on before you popped.
Oh,
on.
I heard you guys. Yeah, interesting.
He's really good. Yeah, very good guy. All right, Palomino. We'll talk to you on Monday.
Have a nice weekend.
You too. Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. So, Tevin, what do you got cooking, man?
We've got Adam in.
Oh, Adam's here?
Yeah, they should be here any second.
Oh, they're not here yet.
No, not yet.
Okay, well, I'm going to run down the hall, then I'll run into them. Well, good. So they can sit in on the show. I love that. We got some.
Yeah, that's awesome.
some
And
people-
we're going to get Bob Sansevere.
I don't know. Can we just wipe him off the board?
No, that's not.
Damn it.
Bob called me last night. He said he was really looking forward to talking after that loss.
I do understand that. Oh, I bet he is. Yes. Well, we'll take a break. Come back. We got another great show coming. You know, lately we've had a lot of guests in on the family show. They've just been kicking ass, and these guests now, lots of guests, man. I love having lots of guests. And we will be back with more guests right after this. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
This is Brett Paul from Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley. We have always had a professional sales staff on our show floors, but recently have added a few more to the arsenal. Neil Hadding was a salesperson at Valley for over 2 decades, probably the best truck guy around. He left for a manager position elsewhere, but decided to kick back and return to work with thousands of his old friends and customers. It's a similar story with Tim Condon. He spent many years in the sales and finance at Valley before spending time in Alaska, to the relief of many, many friends and customers who returned a few years back. Not a returnee, but a welcome addition to our seasoned staff is Charlie Fink. Charlie followed Neil to Apple Valley to head up the finance department. He is well known to many Twin City car customers after being in the business for over 3 decades. If you're looking for a familiar face or just a face of experience, visit one of these professionals at Jim Paul's Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley or Hastings, or at valleycardealers.com.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Austin Bartz of Bartz Lawn and Landscape and Bartz Snow Sculptures.
I started banking with North American, I think, 3.5 years ago. All the people know me by name. I know them by name. It's fun to come into the bank and actually talk to somebody you know. So I made the switch and I'm very happy. It's the best bank I've ever been at.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company. To learn more about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com, or do what I do and stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, joined by Bob Sansevere, here to cover sports, unfortunately, after a tough loss yesterday. Did you watch the game, Bob?
I did. And it was, you know what the game told me?
That we're doomed forever?
Well, no. Yes, the officials, they were bad. Mm-hmm. That was a face mask penalty that should have been called. However, Brian Flores' defense is falling apart. They had pressure on just 3 of 34 dropbacks by Matthew Stafford. They couldn't get, that one play where he eluded them, he should have been down the first time a guy touched him. That defense, 28 points. They almost lost that. The 17-point lead. They lose to Detroit. Now they lose to the Rams. Where's this defense? Is Blake Cashman that vital to this defense that they can't really stop the run and they can't get to the quarterback? It's pathetic. And also, your coach, Kevin O'Connell, he got schooled by his mentor. Because I've been saying this all year, going back to the 28-point where they almost frittered that away. He doesn't make adjustments at halftime. He has to anticipate what the other team is going to do, and he doesn't. And he made as big a mistake as the Buccaneers coach did when he still had Chris Godwin in the game, and Godwin's gone for the year because the game was over, and he should have been resting his stars. The guy had been leading the league in receiving, and he's done because he left him in when he should have taken him out. You're 35 seconds till halftime. Why are you running? I know you're close to your goal line, but take the knee, and they were not going to call a timeout. It would have been over. And Christian Darrisaw, that was the biggest injury, the worst injury they can suffer. Because you get upset about the face mask. Yes, should have been called. Does anyone think with Quisenberry at left tackle,
that's it.
At left tackle that they were going to have a drive? he was going to get slaughtered on that drive if they called the face mask penalty. He being, of course, Sam Darnold.
And who
a lot of problems, a lot of concern here.
Who was that outside linebacker? Was it Verse? Was it Jared Verse that was making Quessenberry look like basically a small child, like off the snap? Just
honestly, it's whoever they put there.
Yeah.
What they need to do, they were talking, they need an interior lineman. They, on defense, they need a left tackle.
Yeah.
Because that injury was not a good one. I mean, he was on crutches after the game. As soon as I saw it, I was thinking like MCL. And that's the best case scenario, medial collateral ligament.
Yeah.
And that is what put Puka Nacua on the shelf for the first 6 weeks of the season. And that's an injury where you don't have to necessarily have surgery if it's a sprain, but you got to let it heal.
Mm-hmm.
So they better do something about left tackle. That's a obviously it's a vital position, but Darrisaw, you never had to worry because Darrisaw truly is one of the best left tackles in football.
Mm-hmm.
And now, they got the Q man.
And how long is he out?
Well, they have not said yet, but again, when you saw him limp off, on crutches, this is not something he's going to bounce back from in a week. Or if he did, I would be stunned because we've all seen a lot of injuries. I mean, I've been covering football, for decades, and when it's not a good one. And you saw the way, his leg was basically the ram, the way he went down on his leg, it bent, and that's knee. That is going to damage the knee. And they're already saying it's a knee injury. Those are never good, as we all know.
Yeah, because it looked like an ankle injury, a knee injury. It looked like an everything injury.
It could be. I mean, there could be damage beyond, the knee. It could be a broken bone in there somewhere.
Did you find your guys?
Yeah, they're still lost, wandering around. Greater
Who are they? Are they friends of yours?
I don't. Well, they were given the address to the Minnesota Film Festival, so right now they're sitting in the Cub Foods parking lot
down the block here.
Yeah, so I'm like, but I shared my location with them, so they should be pulling up.
Are they friends of yours?
Yeah,
they've been on before.
Guys coming in. No, some film directors are coming in to talk movies.
So Kevin wants to go on the movies. He wants to be a movie star.
They're gonna make a big star out of me. Whatever that song is. No. All right, nobody.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Right. What's that? AJ knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You're a disaster.
No, I know what you're talking about.
You do?
Yeah, it's
like I'm gonna be in the movies. They're gonna make a big star out of me.
Yeah, I think it's like a Johnny Cash song.
Yeah.
No, it's a Ringo Starr song.
Is it? Interesting.
They're gonna put me in the movie.
There we go.
They're gonna make a big star.
You just didn't want to sing it 30 seconds ago.
Tom, what you should do when they come here.
I have to carry the show.
Welcome back to the Tevin Show.
The Tevin Show, ladies and gentlemen.
So everybody knows what a big shot he is.
Well, Sandy, we just keep forging ahead. We just keep losing at sports. But, I literally.
What are you talking about? You're Wilder undefeated. AJ must be beside himself.
Not undefeated. They haven't lost in regulation.
5-0-2. Excuse me.
But, Bob, last night's win was actually incredible because they were smothered in the first period and a half by the Lightning, and then they just kept finding chances, locked things
4
down.
goals.
In the third, yeah.
And by the way, when you have a 0 where the loss should be, you're undefeated.
Well, no, they've lost in overtime.
Well, but you get points, though.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing that's screwy about the NHL.
Hockey's weird.
Yeah, I just thought of something, Bob.
Winnipeg is 7-0, though. What's that?
You know what you and I are going to do today? We could either do it today, tomorrow. We could do it a couple of weeks from now when it gets colder. But everybody in the show has asked me, what about the hockey deal? What we're going to do is we're going to rent a bus and we're going to drive around North Minneapolis trying to find a hockey rink.
Or a hockey fan.
Or a hockey fan, for that matter. That's exactly right. So we're gonna see how many there are. Let's go to North Commons first.
Does North have a hockey team? Did it have it when you went there?
It used to. I think it came and went. I don't. Do they now? I don't know if they even do now.
I don't know. I think I've driven past a curling club once, and then other than the XL Energy Center, I don't think I could point you to a hockey rink.
That's it. It'd be pretty. There was a hockey rink at Cleveland when I was a kid. Cleveland Park, which is on like Lowry and Thomas. Kind of in that, Lowry and Penn, I guess, even closer.
This curling in North Minneapolis?
No.
Curling club?
Yeah, there was isn't the Olympic team?
Oh, the Olympic. That's right.
They're
Yeah,
like
you're
the
right.
big curlers, and they're from I think like Duluth or something.
They all went to St. Paul for the curling because they have a curling club there.
Oh, yeah, the St. Paul Curling
there
Club.
you go.
I never tried that. You guys ever try curling?
No, but it looks like shuffleboard on ice with much bigger things.
Right.
Yeah.
And you got the guy sweeping, which is to me, you get exhausted doing that.
The sweeper.
Those guys have it tough. The sweepers.
You got the sweeper, no question about it.
Yeah.
But I don't know, Bob. Like I said, I've given up on sports in this town. I can't
You
get in here, you
last night.
pill.
The Wolves won. Come on, they're 1-1.
Yes, well, come on in and sit down, relax, take it easy. Nobody wants to sit by you. Did you ever notice that?
No, well, those two are much easier to set up, and I like to be over here by
These
myself.
your movie folk?
Yeah, these are my movies.
Hey, well, I'm thrilled to be on the Tevin show. Let me just tell you.
These also aren't my people here, Bob.
You know, to be the greatest is if Tevin let me know when people are actually coming in. That'd work really
Guys,
well.
I didn't book these guests.
You're
These
the
aren't my
guest
people.
booker.
This
You're a
is- this is
disaster.
Tim Lammers that booked these.
Okay,
guests.
Oh, he's a
Tevin,
disaster.
between you and AJ, how many movies you going to pitch to these guys? I got this great idea for a movie.
I've got a couple.
All right.
Start a young black man from Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, I forgot. And then played football in North
Cow
Dakota.
tipping and
Cow tipping.
I don't know.
Why do you know about things that I don't know about? Because you
I've never done it, but I've heard about it.
Okay, that I think is the state pastime is cow tipping because I
Okay,
have a
Bob.
wife who cow tipped when she grew up in Wisconsin.
Bob, you're lucky enough to have a couple of minutes left. So, gentlemen, could you introduce yourselves? And then, Bob, I hate to turn you over to an Italian, but I have to.
Am I on mute?
No,
No,
you
no,
should be
it'll
good.
say you're muted on there, but we go through the audio. So you're just talking to this.
Probably
mic.
sit a little closer to the mic. There you go.
There we are.
I'm Adam Schindler, native of Woodbury, live in
Yep.
Los Angeles now.
Brian,
Got a list.
former resident of Woodbury.
Oh, you're both from Woodbury?
Yeah,
Originally,
both from Woodbury.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What's the name of that great golf course over there in Woodbury? I used to go play there all the time.
Well, it used to be called Wedgwood. I don't know what it's called.
Wedgwood.
Is it still Wedgwood?
No, it was called
They
Wedgwood.
changed it, I think. Prestwick?
What do you, Prestwick? Yeah, there
Maybe
you
they
go.
call it Prestwick.
So you ruined it? Is that what happened?
Yes, I did. I went there and I shot course record, and they said,
Oh,
"Oh
you
man, we gotta
shot-
make it harder. We gotta make it.
okay.
We gotta
You
make it
shot a
harder now."
course- You shot a course record. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
The other
No
way,
question.
180.
That's a nice area over there. You guys grew up in a nice area.
Yeah, I haven't been back in a while, but I'm sure it's still nice.
My parents live there, so
Your
that's
parents
why
do
I was
still live
staying. I
there.
was staying there. I drove there this morning from there.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay. We were just talking about that. Okay, so I can't ask you guys because you both grew up in Woodbury
Mhm.
because Tevin and I got in an argument. He was looking for a hockey rink in North Minneapolis where I grew up. I ain't gonna find no hockey rink in North Minneapolis.
No.
I'm sorry. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they still put it up just for, make it look nice.
I mean, yeah, maybe there's like a lake that freezes over that you can call a hockey rink, but I don't think there's.
Yeah, maybe. Theater Worth.
Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
So what's still Bob? Actually, because you only got a couple of minutes, so you have a couple of questions for these fine
Well, I
gentlemen.
want to know. I mean, because we don't know anything about him. Mr. Schindler, and you guys, are you co-directors, co-producers, co-writers? Do you how do you collaborate? You are partners or no?
I've also got a guy who could probably shed a little more light here as we'll bring Timmy Lammers into the show.
Oh my God, we got Lammers too.
Yeah, we got me too. Hey, Brian and Adam, how are you, man?
Good to see you guys. Hey Tim, how you doing,
Hey,
man?
Tim.
I'm good. We just talked a couple weeks ago, and first of all, got to do a shameless plug. I just did. Here we go. I posted a piece yesterday on Forbes with Brian and Adam. So,
Oh, you did? He's
Yes.
turning on their headphones right now.
Okay.
That's just nice.
Yeah.
Producers that don't know how to turn on headphones. What the hell?
Say it one. I'm on now. Say it one more
Yeah,
time.
yeah. So Brian and Adam, I sent Adam the link yesterday too, and Brian saw it. Yeah, talk with them for Forbes. These guys are from Woodbury. I got to know you. I think it was 2013 with your first film, Delivery, The Beast Within, and I'm telling you, man, you want to see a scene that's going to make you jump about 10 feet in the air. The last scene, I shouldn't say the last scene, but in the final act, something happens that you rarely see in movies because these guys go there. these guys are great filmmakers. Yeah, I'm kissing their butts, but you know what? They're also friends of mine. I mean, they really got it going. And of course, Tommy, you've had the opportunity to talk with them too for Intruders. And then, of course, they did something with Sam Raimi, 50 Shades of Fright, before they did Don't Move with Sam Raimi.
So I need to ask a question here. What is it with this horror movies? It sounds like Anna Hallberg, who's Marsh Hallberg's daughter, did a great one that recently. You guys do horror. Is it a Minnesota thing? Is it something that about growing up in Minnesota that makes you have to do horror movies?
I don't think so. There's not a lot of filmmakers from Minnesota that do horror, honestly.
No, that is
name another one.
Right.
There's not a lot, but I don't know. It's just we were always drawn to it. I can't even, if we were to try to dive into why that is, who knows what we would find. I just think we like films that give you a reaction, whether that's laughter, whether that's jumping. We love stuff like that. And I think horror and comedy are great for that. They do give you a strong reaction one way or the other. It's not a passive viewing experience. So I think that's probably one of the reasons we love horror as much as we do.
All right, I got to do this, otherwise Tim won't get his check. Tim Lammer is brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryan, personal injury lawyer seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryan at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. That's MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. I love just sitting back listening to this whole situation because
I need to add one more thing. And again, you say no other filmmakers that do horror. I guess by proxy, the Coen brothers were roommates with Sam Raimi.
Yes. Yeah, we heard the story. We can't repeat some of but some great stories where he was living. He lived not only with the Coen brothers, but he also lived with Holly Hunter and Kathy Bates.
Kathy
Can you
Bates.
imagine a household involving all those people? Yeah. So, I guess horror adjacent, right? I mean, there's definitely horrific stuff in what the Coen brothers do, and they are huge influences on us.
I'm going to steal that, by the way. Next time my wife asked me, "Is something wrong?" Yeah, everything horror adjacent. Horror adjacent.
Well, Joel actually did work on the first Evil Dead movie too.
Right.
with Sam.
Dead, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the minds in that room, in that apartment, and the talent in that apartment is pretty amazing. So,
And you can actually see some of Sam Raimi's stylings in the Coen brothers films.
100%.
I mean, it's pretty amazing. I mean, it's, like Brian was saying, the talent in this one house alone, and this is before any of them were famous. Frances McDormand was in that house too.
Fran McDormand, yes, of course. I had to forget. Yeah, of course, she was there as well. So, and they were living in this small apartment. He said on the wrong side of town. So you can only imagine that they're just cutting their teeth and finding their voice.
Which is now the hipster part of town.
Now it's the hipster part. Now it's the hipster part of town.
In New York, you're talking about, Sam.
This is Los Angeles.
Oh, in Los Angeles. Well, actually, in New York, Sam lived with Joel and Ethan and walked in while they were being burglarized.
Oh, really?
Yeah, crazy story there too. So yeah, Sam actually told me that himself 25 years ago, I guess it was. I've known. I can't say I know Sam. You guys know he's your buddy now.
Yeah.
But I've interviewed Sam a bunch of times over the years. But yeah, man, a Minnesota talent. I love it. And the fact we got to plug this, unless you plugged it already. They're going to be at the Minnesota Film Festival.
Yeah.
The Twin Cities Film Festival tonight.
Earlier, trying to find this place.
Yeah. And just down a couple buildings to screen Don't Move. And then afterwards, I will be doing a Q&A with Adam and Brian. So there you go.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Plug.
Well, that'll be good. See, I love this kind of stuff. There's no question. I mean, going into a weekend here, you got a lot of stuff cooking. I love that whole deal. No, Bob, what the hell? This is as silent as I've ever heard you be.
Tim's your guest now, and these guys. But let me just throw this out after last night's, because they did at times play like zombies. Zombie sports movie about the Minnesota Vikings. How about it?
Yeah, you do losing every game.
There's never really been a horror movie related to sports that I can recall.
Well, if ever there was one, it would certainly involve Minnesota sports teams. We are still sports fans of the Minnesota.
We are the docudrama.
The Vikings, the Wolves. We're still.
I saw a picture of Brian at the game in London. You were at the game in London, right?
I was at the game in London, which was incredible. My son and my wife, they had never been to a football game, so to see it in London, it doesn't get any better. Plus, we got the win that night. We flew last night, so we didn't see the game.
Lucky
Otherwise,
you.
we would have been at the game. We would have been.
You didn't miss anything.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Unfortunately,
terrible.
Unfortunately,
missed the Timberwolves game though. Timberwolves look pretty good.
Yeah, and the hockey and basketball. That's great.
Looking pretty good.
Hockey once again, North America.
I'm gonna let you guys get back to it because I
Oh,
actually
you're
have
gonna let me? Are you? I just love it when people say, "I'm gonna let you go." You're not gonna let me do anything. all
Look,
right?
I'm gonna go because I have a child having surgery, so I need to go over to the hospital. Nothing serious.
Wait,
But
yeah,
I
but
do wanna get there.
let's tell him what the surgery is to separate you from him. That's the surgery.
Well, I didn't want to say, but more painful for me than it will be for them.
Much like your reports every week for us.
Got, looking forward to that sports horror movie, fellas. We'll see you.
Coming soon. Coming soon.
All right, Bob. Thank you. Have a great weekend,
Thank you.
sir.
All right.
Bob Sansevere in there, ladies and gentlemen. We don't need to take that break here, do we? Need to wait till
No, we
like
can just
quarter after.
power through. Yeah.
I love this. How long do you guys have in studio? You got to be somewhere.
We've got places to be, but we're here for you.
But I mean, what time do you have to leave?
I believe. What time is it? 11 o'clock. We have a.
Well, it's 9:06.
We have an 11 o'clock.
We've got time.
Zoom.
We've
So
got
yeah.
time.
Well, good, because now we can really get into it. Now they got rid of the Italian.
Yeah, you jump right into it.
I love picking on Bob. I love picking on everybody, actually, to tell you the truth. There's no question about it.
He loves picking on me.
I do. No, not as much as you love picking on me, though.
Ah,
You yelled
that's
at me
true.
last
That's
week on my own show.
Oh, yeah? What
Tom,
about-
you
Yeah.
son of a bitch.
You
What was that
son
about?
of a- But you guys got to tell them about "Don't Move" on Netflix right now. Correct? It started at
2 o'clock a.m.
Central
Central Time.
Tell me about this. I love that. First of all, I am huge into these kind of movies. I just love them. Is that Catholic? Is that a Catholic thing?
Oh, I was raised Catholic, probably.
There you go.
Probably. Yeah, it's the concept is it came to us a couple years ago, and it's about a woman who is going through a difficult time in her life, and she meets a man who's not what he appears to be. And before you know it, she's been dosed with a paralytic, and he informs her body's going to be shutting down in about 20 minutes, so she will not be able to move. And so she's got to outsmart him, outrun him over the course of the film, and it's this cat and mouse where the mouse can't move anymore. So,
what inspired you to do this? I love it.
Well, I don't know. We the concept came to us a while ago, and we kind of batted it around, and then it was like mid-pandemic. We're all sitting in our houses, and we tossed the idea over to the writers CJ Simple and David White, who wrote our second film, Intruders. We just kind of like did this. We sat around in Zoom sessions and like drank beer and tossed the idea around. Like, how could you actually? What kind of character would you need to put in this type of a genre exercise to make it work? Because that's kind of to have the main character of a movie be paralyzed for a majority of the movie seems kind of like a wild idea. And it wasn't until we figured out the character of Iris, which is what Brian was talking about, and what her arc is and what her story is. And then once we figured her out, we're like, this actually makes sense. There's a way to make this into an actual film, and then you figure out who the antagonist is and who you pit her against, and then you work at all this, all the fun sequences. At heart, it's a genre exercise.
Right.
But then for us, it's huge. Character is huge. It's what people go to movies to watch. And experience, and we think we got a good one with Iris's journey, and then Richard, or if that's his name, pitting her against him. I think it goes in fun places.
Yeah, it's really more than anything. It's a thriller. It has suspense elements. It has some horror elements. But if you're just looking for 90 minutes of a good time, you get some thrills, and it's just a fun watch.
Well, see, this is what I'm talking about. I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of movies now are all about slaughter, which, what you just talked about is a very, very important part of these movies. And a lot of people do that anymore. I mean, getting me involved with the character. Was there anybody that inspired either one of you, both of you? Like in my life, it would have been probably Alfred Hitchcock.
I would say Hitchcock, it's funny, Sam Raimi, I know Sam Raimi produced the movie, and it's our second project we've done with Sam. So, he's one of our idols. So, he was a big part of our, upbringing, just watching films and feasting on films. But Hitchcock, definitely, Brian De Palma. The way they build out, the way he builds out suspense sequences. Like we said, this is a suspense movie at heart. It is. There's flashes of violence, but it's not slaughter. It's not that kind of.
I'm not the slaughter guy. I love exactly. Tense is a great word to use. I just love that, and that's
it's finding some. It's I think a lot of it's there's different subgenres, right? Like there are people that love blood and guts, and then there's people that love suspense, and then there's people that there's you just have to know who your audience is, and I think the audience for this is us. And for us, a lot of times, more than anything, we just want to see, like, we love to kind of have sweaty palms. We love the build up to this, either an act of violence or a big event. Like, we love stuff like that. So we just made it for us. And fortunately, the producing partners and the team we had, they supported that. And Sam was a big part of that. And Sam is such a huge influence on us.
Right.
It was the movie we wanted to make and we wanted to see more than anything. And I think with the response to it has also been similarly. People are like, oh, they don't make stuff like that anymore, really.
Okay, there are 5 of you, and I want you all to vote on what's my favorite line written by Sam Raimi. Was not delivered by a human being either.
Oh,
see, Timmy knows what it is. Timmy knows what it is already because, once again,
well, you stumped me with it wasn't said by a human.
It was not said by a human being, and it's only 2 words, and it was my favorite moment in any horror film.
Jeez,
Sam Raimi delivered it.
And I think is it from Drag Me to Hell?
Maybe. Maybe it is. And because this is a podcast, I can actually say what a goat says this.
Oh, okay. So Drag Me to Hell. The only thing I was thinking, I was like, were the things in Evil Dead technically people? That's what I was thinking. And then he said 2 words, and I was like, man, you got me, because I was going to say Dead by Dawn, but it's 2 words. I don't know.
Okay, should I tell him, Tim?
Yeah, I think
Do you know what it is, Tim?
Oh yeah, we've referred to the line several times over the years, Tommy and I.
Well, now I'm excited because it's not. You said it's podcast friendly, so now I'm excited to hear what it is.
Oh, it's podcast friendly, and it's definitely not broadcast friendly. There's a goat in Drag Me to Hell, and it's in the house for some reason. Why is it in the house? Do you remember?
They're doing a seance.
Oh, they're doing a seance. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, and the character goes into the goat's noggin or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm sitting there in this theater, and and all of a sudden I was shocked because this goat walks over to the edge of its encampment or whatever the hell it is, and looks at the people and goes, "Fuck you."
That's not Sam Raimi. I don't know what
that's very on brand.
It really is on brand.
Very on brand.
I love
Not many people can pull that off in a movie.
No. And it just stuck in my head. It's like, God, that was brilliant how he just slid that in there from a goat.
That's when you know the stuff's about to go down.
Oh, it went down.
Yeah,
it hit the fan.
We hit the fan. Do we need this as a culture, as a people? I do. I need to go and see things in a movie theater that I don't want to see in real life. Experience things that you're not. I suppose, you'd see these biographies, you're experiencing their life in some ways. You're experiencing a filthy goat in other areas. So, are we going to get hurt by the fact that movie theaters aren't doing as well as they used to? I love going to the movie theater. I just love it.
Same. I mean, but people have to show up. It's not, you know what I mean? It's it's a supply and demand thing. Like, obviously, if people don't go, if people have gotten out of the habit of going, then they're gonna close more theaters, and then it's just a thing of, I think once people get in the habit of going, and for me, I get in the habit. The more I go, the more I go. That sounds weird, but like if I go to 2 in a month, all of a sudden I'm like, well, all right, well, it's been 2 weeks. How come I haven't gone? But if I don't go for 4 to 5 months at a time, you just forget. You get out of the habit of it. So I just think it's going to have to be on both sides. It's going to have to be on audience members and also the studios, distributors that put it out to create, to keep putting things out on a consistent basis,
and not just do the big tentpole movies.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. The superhero movies and stuff, and those are great, and and spectacle and what have you. But you need to put out all types of movies, and then people need to show up to all types of movies.
Right.
That's kind of the give and take, and our movie Don't Move is on Netflix, but as a filmmaker, saying where are you going to get the most eyeballs? As filmmakers, you want people to see your film.
Absolutely.
And there's no better place than Netflix to have people see your movie.
Why did they take?
I was going to say, these guys the other night were with Ted Sarandos or Sarandos. How do you pronounce his name? The big cheese at Netflix was there with them in pictures and stuff. You guys are big shots, man. That was really cool.
Medium
those
shots.
photos.
Medium shots.
Yeah. Yeah, Netflix loved the movie. And so, I mean, we made it independently. And so if you make anything independently, you don't know where it's going to end up. You just hope to make something that will, frankly, financially make the people that invested in it whole. So we were able to do that and find a home that really loved. Like Netflix has been over the moon for the film. And that's the biggest thing. You just want to go to a place where you're loved and they'll say it and then also show it. Because a lot of times people won't back that up. Meaning they won't get behind it and push it out to people. And Netflix has done that. They've been awesome, frankly. Like we've never worked with them before, and they've been incredible every step of the way. Like everything's top notch. The people, their attitudes, they just love movies and it shows in everything they've done. So we've been very happy.
Now, Tim, how long can you stay on with us?
I could stay in another few. I just wanted to squeeze in, if you don't mind, because I did tease movie reviews quickly. Venom, The Last Dance, better than the last one, I will say. I know critics by and large are ripping it, but I thought it was entertaining. Is it stupid? Yeah, but it's also entertaining. Silly. It's Tom Hardy in his element. He's terrific. So that's in theaters. But then there's this other movie called Don't Move that I would probably recommend over that. Venom movie. That's on Netflix.
Tim Lammers.
That one's on Netflix.
You're saying out of 5 stars, it's a 6, right, Tim?
There you go.
Actually, 6.5.
Oh, there we go.
I go on the Lammometer. 6 out of 10 for Venom on the Lammometer. 6.5 out of 5 for Don't Move.
There we go.
That's just math.
Why can't you be with us when we got Kristen Bird on my?
I can do that. I can do that.
Oh, I think it'd be great if you stayed on with it. I'm one of those kind of guys, to tell you the truth, and I suppose just how I grew up. The more people, the merrier for me. I'll give you 20 people on the air. Good. Now we got it.
Good for us. We'll take it.
That's what I'm saying. I just think it's a magnificent deal, but I do want to get those movie theaters cooking again, to grab that popcorn and whatever you're going to have to drink and sit there in a theater and watch. There's no other experiences like that.
Agree.
Yeah. We screened it. We had our premiere for Don't Move on Tuesday and saw it.
I must not have seen my invitation.
You know what? Spam. Check your spam folder.
Spam folder, baby.
And people will get a chance to see it on the big screen tonight. And
it's
no longer the icon. It's Marcus. I think it's a Marcus.
It's Marcus. Yeah, it is Marcus.
Yeah. So, but same venue. Actually, this will be the first time I'll be back there since Marcus took over. So I'm interested to see the changes. But it's a great venue. And you guys have been there. That's at previous film festivals.
Yeah, Jaden said
that's the main site.
Team, they just love movies, and I love that they're going strong. They were starting when our career was starting, and watching them grow to what they are now, it's pretty awesome. So we brought every film we've made back, and happy to be back again tonight.
It is wonderful. Okay, as we go into a segue, because we're just going to run a very quick couple minute break and then come back. And you guys, can you stick around?
We can stick around. 20 minutes? Yeah, we'll be here.
Need longer than that because I got another show to do after this. But in any case, okay. So in order to get passage to the next segment of this show, you have to know what was said at either the Empress, Paradise, the Capri Theater in North Minneapolis. When I was a kid, a woman's driving along, car breaks down. She's walking along. She sees this mansion. What is the number one thing that almost everybody in that theater said to that woman when she first looks up at the mansion and considers going inside? What did everybody in that live theater say? You ready?
Ready.
Don't go in there, girl. I just love that. So they said it on every movie, and I just loved it. And I think they meant the Empress Theater because it was rather dangerous if you piss somebody off, if you know what I'm saying. We will take a break, be right back. Kristen Burt's going to join us. Timmy Lammers is with us. I mean, well, look at this. We're just stacking them up over the airport, don't you think?
Yeah. Who has it better than us?
That's what I'm saying. We'll be right back in a couple of minutes. More right after this. Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank all our listeners for all your continued support. When Mike started MyPillow, it was just a problem solution, one product company. Well, since then, they now have hundreds of products, some of you may not even know about. For example, the brand new 4-pack dish towel sets, just $25. 6-pack towel sets, just $25. Bed sheets, for as low as $25. Check out their overstock and closeout sale and save up to 80% off select items. You're looking for a good night's sleep? Take advantage of the classic collection on a variety of MyPillows for as low as $9.88. These amazing offers won't last long, so order now. Just go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146 and use promo code TOM.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard Podcast, and I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Yeah, and I agree with you. The Bulgarian women are really good looking in it. Oh, wait a minute. We're back on. I just threw that out there. Oh, don't shake your head, KB2. Ladies and gentlemen, Kristen Burt, our entertainment reporter, on now with a couple of big shot movie makers. And of course, Devin and AJ and me too. But, you know, what are you going to do? What do you think? Kristen, what's up?
Oh, lots of stuff. Hollywood is busy as always.
All right. Kristen Burt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. If you guys would explain to Kristen Burt, why, you don't have to explain why they're here, but they're here for a very specific reason. They have a new movie out.
Oh, that's exciting.
Just hit Netflix today. It's called Don't Move, produced by Sam Raimi. We're originally from Minnesota, so we're actually back. We live in LA, but we're back here to show the film in the theater with all our friends and family at the Twin Cities Film Festival. So one screening tonight, and the rest of everybody can watch it on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, I've seen you running around the film festival this week too.
Yeah, it's been a crazy weekend. You mentioned Jayton Satia earlier. He is he the executive director? He is the head honcho of the Twin Cities Film Fest, and he's putting a hell of a festival. I'm going to be doing the Q&A with Brian and Adam tonight after the Don't Move deal. And earlier this week, Daisy Ridley was in town with her husband / screenwriter, Tom Bateman, who's also an actor. So I was at a meet and greet there as well. So again, you guys, you've seen this festival grow. Brian and Adam, you've been there from the very beginning. And it is very exciting because people are definitely taking notice of the Twin Cities Film Fest.
Yeah, we're really proud. I mean, not that they need us to be, but I mean, we're just proud of seeing what it's, you know, their love of film, and then they want to make sure they foster that love within the Twin Cities, which is important to us. So anything we can do to be a part of what they do, it's a pleasure. Pleasure's ours.
And KB too was from Minnesota in Minnesota at one point. Got to mention that.
I did a 2-year stint.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
I couldn't survive the weather.
Yeah.
She worked for Jesse Ventura.
Nice. She's a big shot.
Oh my God.
That's a whole other story. That's a whole other lifetime of that's a tale.
So is
A
mine.
tale to
My
be told.
story with Jesse's pretty good too. What a world. What a world. Now, we were just talking, Kristen, a lot about, well, and I've talked to you about this before, that a world without movies wouldn't be as good a world. It depends on the genre, of course. There's some of the movies that, although I can't really think of any. I like movies. They're a great escape, a great entertainment. You can go to the theater, you can watch it on Netflix, you can
Humans are storytellers.
Yeah, that's a very good way to put it.
Well,
Yeah,
I'd be
that's right.
interested.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in knowing where you guys filmed because we are dealing with a lot of production exiting Los Angeles. We talked about this yesterday, and maybe from your experience, if you have filmed here, the expense of permits because they've increased astronomically, and a lot of people are like, it's cheaper. It's cheaper for them to take Gordon Ramsay and film like his show Master Chef in Australia than it is to film in Los Angeles. It's crazy that we're at this point.
We know all about that. So we've done three films now. The first film was the only one that shot in Los Angeles, and that was because it was a $48,000 self-funded indie. I mean, there's indie and then there's $48,000.
What's the name of it?
It's called Delivery. And it's basically John and Kate +8 meets Rosemary's Baby.
Oh, that's
okay.
It's a hell of a
makes sense if
movie.
you see it.
Seriously, I didn't know that, guys, about it being not that. Again, look, the Terrifier has shown that you can beat the $2 million Terrifier 3 can beat the $200 million Joker 2.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but really, what you get out of that $48,000 in Delivery is amazing.
So
Wow,
that was shot in and around Los Angeles, because again, we lived there and we couldn't afford to move it elsewhere. So that was done there. Everything else we've ever made, which was our second feature in Louisiana, the show we made with Sam Raimi, the anthology series, that was in Vancouver, and then this most recent film, Don't Move, was done in Bulgaria. So we just keep moving further and further away every time we make a movie. I don't know where the next one is going to
come back around the planet and make one in Los Angeles.
Well, the UK has made incredible tax incentives to make Hollywood like to really, and they're becoming like the number one spot to film. I know obviously parts of Eastern Europe too are also very attractive for filmmakers.
Yeah, we have something we're developing right now that we're looking at potentially Budapest.
Yeah,
which they've done a lot of stuff there. They're doing. I mean,
Budapest film is huge right now.
They put out good. I mean, a lot of the big product you're seeing, like Dune and things like that, they're done there. So it's unfortunate because we live in communities where you have lots of people that work on crews in different capacities. My neighbor behind me, works on film sets, and there's just not a lot of work that's happening in Los Angeles for whatever reason. They've not pushed to get the incentives or the rebates that other states have pushed for. So other states are becoming more competitive, and it's becoming really hard if you work below the line, which is crew, to make a living in Los Angeles consistently.
It feels
and we don't have the above the line tax incentives either. So that's the attractive, like being able to have the tax incentives on those expensive salaries. Are you also seeing, because this is something I've mentioned, but it's better hearing from you guys in terms of people leaving Los Angeles, maybe moving to Atlanta, moving to Louisiana, relocating where the jobs actually are?
A lot. And frankly, I mean, when we came back from Vancouver, when we first moved, we've been in Los Angeles like 21, 22 years or so. Yeah. When we first moved there, our jaws were on the floor because every time you turned a corner, there was a film production. There was a commercial or a short film, or there was trucks and signs, and it was so exciting to see that activity. That's not there anymore. But if you go to Vancouver, you'll see it. When you go to Vancouver, every corner you turn is it's television primarily. And when I came back, I had a friend who's an actor. His wife is from Vancouver, and they were talking about potentially moving there. And I was like, if I was you, I mean, we brought a couple of actors when we went up to Vancouver, but the majority of the production was 75% were local actors. There's just so much work up there. If you can go to Atlanta or Louisiana or Vancouver as an actor, you will find work.
The CW shows, they're all shot in Vancouver.
Hallmark shoots all of their Christmas movies
all the year round now.
Yeah.
They shoot Christmas movies. That's remarkable that they've turned that into its own little industry.
That is, it's a cottage industry, and they're starting to, just because I've been lately, the last couple of weeks, been in the deep of Hallmark Countdown to Christmas, doing all the interviews for the actors, but they're starting to now do Halloween. They're doing Valentine's Day. Like, they are thinking, and they're also creating mystery franchises for their mystery network. They now have their own streaming network, and they are looking for content everywhere. And they've got at least 3 or 4 series coming, and all of them are
in June. They do halfway to Christmas, and they do the Christmas.
They do. And Countdown to Christmas began on October 18th, and this is where the actors are going to, because they're getting production deals where they can shoot 3-4 movies a year.
Yeah,
support
it kind
their
of reminds
family.
me of Minnesota in like the 90s when we were growing up, and they were shooting tons of movies here, and they had a huge tax incentive. And people were like, "Oh, we'll go there." And then Minnesota decided they just want to come here because it's awesome, And so they got rid of the tax incentive, and then everybody goes, "Oh, go to Louisiana, man! Where they go where the money is."
Was that a Jesse thing? Was that a Did he get rid of it, Jesse?
No,
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not certain.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
the Minnesota Film Board was huge back then, and I should also point out the irony of the Vancouver stuff. Gray Cloud Island is the Minnesota segment of 50 States of Fright. It's a movie. It's a show. Episode set in Minnesota, but they filmed it in Vancouver. So that just kind of goes.
New York is never New York, and
York
Los
is never
Angeles is rarely Los Angeles anymore. Yeah, you see that, and if you live in those areas, you see it because you're like, that is not Los Angeles, even though they're pretending it's Los Angeles.
Right.
You can tell by the trees that the landscape gives it away.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Fargo, the series is shot in Winnipeg.
Yep.
So I think, but that's, again, it's not the fault of the creators. If you're a creator like we are, you just want to put as much money on screen as you can. And if you're told, you'll have half the time to shoot it in this place it's traditionally set. Well, I mean, you're going to take the money and the time to make the best product.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, our film Don't Move takes place in Big Sur, and we shot it in Bulgaria.
Yeah.
So
we left
Impossible.
California to go shoot Bulgaria for California.
Yeah, it's like
And
you get
that's the
30
great
days in
tragedy.
Bulgaria, or you get 15 days in California to shoot that, and you're like, well, you go where they're.
And that's the great tragedy of what's happening in the industry right now. And it's, as an entertainment reporter, it's been fascinating just to see it all go, because even for us, the red carpets then go, and everything is now on Zoom. The press junkets go. They, it all contracts in its own way.
Yeah, it's too bad. But the hope would be, as television starts to come back to a greater, to the levels it was before, and maybe California decides that it's just too valuable to not bring productions in and showcase the state, right? Because there is something to be said when you see a film that takes place in New York and you can recognize New York in it, like it just has a different feel to it. And
Right, because Sex in the City is not Sex in the City without the city, because it's like the fifth character in that type of show. That's just an example. It's Sopranos too. You don't want to just take it out of its element. But Gavin Newsom, obviously our governor, is very far behind on this. SAG hasn't pushed for it enough. They are doing it now, but I think we're at a point where we're so far behind. It's going to take us a decade to catch up to other states at this point.
Yeah, the strikes didn't help either. I mean, I'm glad they did what they did and everything, but everybody was out of work for a while. Luckily, I mean, we were dodging strikes left and right when we were you're that far across the world, whatever, you're kind of insulated from what's going on here. But when we came back, we really saw with our friends and editors and other people, you're just like it's just like tumbleweeds in here.
Yeah, a lot of people have not worked since November 2022. Like that seemed to be the cutoff point in preparation for the strikes. And people have had to make alternate plans, get jobs that don't involve the entertainment industry in order to pay their bills.
Or have just left, and to your point, left the state. And that's sad. But we've seen a lot of that. People have just left the state. I mean, kind of left the business and the state.
Correct.
Which you've seen a lot of. But, you try to remind yourself that lots of industries come and go over time, and we're not special. So if we want to protect it, we have to fight to do that. And that's obviously on the state level, and then the studios and all those sorts of things. So it's like, it's not a given that it's going to be a film industry 20 years from now or 30 years from now. It's not just meant to be. You have to cultivate it and protect it. So hopefully that's happening on the multiple levels it needs to happen on.
And to your point on that, I'd love to know your opinion on AI in filmmaking, because that is also a hot topic that was brought up during the strike as well.
I mean, we've had very little experience personally with it, but I can tell you, everyone that we know raises, like, they're ringing the alarm, because if you understand the way it works, and I have a very rudimentary understanding of it, but basically it's just constantly learning, and so it's learning off of other people's work. So it is basically taking all the things that we are creating, and then it's creating its own things on the back of that. And so the idea is at a certain point it won't need to create off of the backs of our work, because it's going to create on its own. And then the question is, will the audience want that? Because if the audience wants it, then the studio is going to give it to them. But if the audience doesn't want it, if they crave actual people, actual actors,
the human condition is the thing that I think you're going to lose the human condition out of that. It can learn all this stuff, but it's not human. So it's just missing that element. And taking a lot of jobs. It's going to take a lot of jobs, just like it's done with the automotive industry and any other industry.
Voiceover,
Like Brian,
voiceover is just gone.
I think voiceover is. I think voiceover is, in my personal opinion, I'm not an actor, but I think that's in real danger because
no doubt.
I'll just say that there are tools that that can be used if you want to give voice acting that sound real similar to a person. And obviously, if you have a very specific accent, are they going to do something?
Why'd you point at me when you did that?
I wasn't pointing at you. But as
some
an
weird ass
example,
accent,
Tom.
you know.
If you want Tom,
Tom,
you can't.
Oh my God, not real.
Yeah. You may not get a West Virginia accent or a
He's
Jamaican
not real.
accent.
We're just in.
He's not Tom is AI.
Tom is AI, right?
Well, I'm from New England, so a New England accent, like a Boston accent, is very specific too. If you want something like that,
Right. So that's not there yet. But how long before it is there? And then the
Yeah.
question is, if you can save some money, of course they're going to do that. So to answer your question, we are just as nervous about it as everybody else.
Yeah.
But I think the one thing that Adam and I talk about is the one thing you can do to protect against that is if you make singular stuff. Like there's only one Quentin Tarantino. There's only one Paul Thomas Anderson.
Right.
There are other filmmakers that have a style that is probably more easily mimicked, but not people that have voices like that. So if you want to protect yourself against it, create stuff that nobody else can make, including AI. And
so
then
Michael Bay should be sweating a little bit.
No comment.
I'll say it. I'll just throw it out there.
You know what I might do as a result of all this? I might just move up to Banff Lake Louise, just do a show from up there and just forget about it.
No.
I've been there. That's one of the best places on the planet.
On the planet. There's no question.
Although you probably could move it. I mean, like, you know,
Yeah, you can.
That's the beauty of, I mean, the one thing that, you know, the pandemic did a lot of things that resulted in, you know, work-wise, all that. But the one thing it did show you, just across, not just entertainment, you can work from anywhere.
Yeah.
You can move anywhere. You can work from anywhere.
It was amazing how the technology for like Zoom and just connecting people, first 2 months of the pandemic, people were like, I don't know what we're doing. And the technology, within 4 months, the ingenuity was just like, we got to get it to work. And everybody just said, okay, we'll make it work. And now it's like, within 4 months.
And now all the managers are like, please come back to the office for collaboration. And we're like, no.
3 days a week, please, in the office.
Well, to your point, though, Kristen, like we've been going to meet, we just started, you know, in the film about to come out, you start going out, you're meeting people. And we went to something last week. They were like, oh, thank you for coming in person. We're like, we wouldn't do it otherwise. Like, I mean, if we're in the same city, there's just, you can't, the energy you get when you're talking about something with someone, you just can't replicate it if you could be in the same room, if at all possible.
I think that there's a time and a place. Like a film festival makes sense for you to be there, network, meet people, have that human connection. And then I think there's other things, like if you're just doing a Zoom meeting, do I need to go into an office to do it? And oftentimes you're on Zoom in the office doing it, which is crazy. So, but I do think like networking opportunities shouldn't be passed by because there is something about that human connection that we're going to lose with all of the technology and AI. If we let it happen.
I agree.
You know what I think we should do, because I got another show to do after this. We should just throw those people on too and have like 12 people on. Because I'm having a ball, man. I love talking about this stuff, how, you know, how things used to be, how they are now, all the rest of it. Matter of fact, I was just, before I took a job at KQRS, which I was there for 37 years, I was living in New York doing voiceover. Mm-hmm. It's nothing like that anymore. It's not even close. Mm-hmm. I would fly to Los Angeles. Well, that was the one problem doing voiceover back then, because they didn't have a lot of, you know, AI, I suppose, what's eventually going to become AI. But if I did it in LA, I had to fly to Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, whatever. But the world has changed so much now. Mm-hmm. I understand you can probably make $1, $2 doing a commercial these days. That used to be a very lucrative business.
Now they buy it out. I mean, I don't know much about commercial, but I understand they buy you out. And so it's not about 10 years later, it's still running. It's like, no, you've been paid up front. For it. So
and that's non-union. It's not union if they're buying you out. So
look at that. I mean, it's just a totally different business, and that's all there is. Is the big problem here? And I know we got to go in a couple of minutes here, unless you guys want to stay the rest of the day, because I'm going to be here anyway. But I just, you know, I see all these things going on. It's like, man, it's just not as good as it used to be because they're not paying for it. Do people understand that if you're going to do the best thing out there, and Timmy Lammers, I'll run this by you. wouldn't you, even if it costs a lot more, wouldn't you hire the best in the business, or you just not do that anymore?
Yeah. I mean, it's all about quality, right? But
used to be.
Well, yeah, you're right. So
I think you'll pay for what you recognize as quality. But if in any business, if they don't, if they're like, oh, just give me the half version, give me the 50% version versus the 100% version, it's going to cost you 50% less. And if the audience doesn't care, or the consumer doesn't care, then they're going to just be like, let's save the money. So
yeah, that's true. Oh, well, one of the biggest hits I ever took was because I used to do a lot of movie trailers. They don't do any movie trailers anymore. I haven't seen it. Maybe they pop one up in the theaters, but as far as running commercials for the movie,
it's online now.
It's just online.
It's on YouTube.
It is
or Instagram or.
Last year, I can recall one voiceover. And
that was about that, do you?
In a world.
In a world, yeah. No, last year, remember the Holdovers? That had like an old-fashioned movie trailer vibe where they actually had a voiceover. But honest to God, I can't remember any other film doing that last year.
No, they don't do
crazy.
anything. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I still have listeners once in a while that listen, with podcasts. They listen in different countries even. I still get sent movie trailers that I do, but the number one is what the hell was the one that
At Close Range?
At Close Range with Christopher Walken. Because at the very end I go, like father, like son, like hell. What do you think?
That's when movie trailers were worth watching in the theater.
We are going to
demand.
We're going to demand that you do the.
We're going to demand it.
Well, that's
going to be in our deal.
Works for me.
You got to do it.
I love that. That's awesome.
It was so much fun to
those
do
were
those
great
back
to
in
watch.
the day.
Tarantino has a film house couple now, but he plays whenever he'll play a revival. What he'll do is also bring out revival trailers from the period that
Oh,
the film came
yeah.
out.
Yeah, good
so
idea.
Those trailers are so great.
Yeah.
I mean, stuff like what you're talking about, like
It
that.
was wonderful.
They're great. They're a lot of fun.
Right. It was
Well, that's how movies like Thanksgiving and there were fake trailers in Grindhouse.
Yes.
Machete.
Yeah,
It actually got such great response, these fake trailers, that they actually made them into movies. And one of them was Eli Roth's Thanksgiving last year. Machete was one of them. And I think they might have done one other one, but yeah.
Hobo with a shotgun.
Oh, yeah.
Hobo with a shotgun?
Which is
exactly
Howard. Is exactly what it says.
That's exactly what.
Really?
What a great title.
There's no subtext. It's a hobo with a shotgun.
I love that a lot. One good thing about this, and you guys will go through this, you're probably already going through it and all the rest of it, but all that stuff just pops into my head. Andy, who does the next show, is my son. My son is a big part of that show. But I do remember he and my daughter, when they were like, I think 11 and 9, they finally got excited. I had done every voiceover in every place and everything in all the rest of the world. I finally got both my kids come up to me and go, God, Dad, it's so great that you do that. I said, after all this time, that's because it was for Monsters Inc. Cheez-Its.
Something cool.
Something really cool like Monsters Inc.
Everybody loves a Cheez-It. That's the airport snack of choice.
My kids live on Cheez-Its.
Oh,
I love
they are
Cheez-Its.
good.
When I fly, I go buy a bag of Cheez-Its at the airport.
I had some last night when I flew.
Honest to God.
Not Monsters Inc. No.
Not
I
Monsters
told
Inc.
you, it is literally the airport snack.
Yeah,
airlines are cutting back
It's a
too.
good airplane snack. Yeah.
God, it's just a whole different one. And this went by way too fast.
Yep.
You sure you guys got to leave? You can't just hang around for the rest of your life?
Not the rest of our lives, but we
We
can
have
hang
films to make.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, I will see you guys tonight. That would be
That's
Adam
right.
and Brian.
Oh,
So,
big.
at the
Oh,
Twin
not
Cities
us.
Film Fest.
Not
Not the rest of you.
We're out of the mix.
We don't like movies.
Check your spam folder.
As the GOAT said in Sam Raimi's movie, F you. Only said a little more than that, actually. Kristen, any closing words?
No, this was a really fun discussion, kind of
We-
tied in nicely to what I said yesterday, because Hollywood Reporter had a pretty deep dive article. It's called The Production Graveyard.
The production graveyard.
Yeah, which is all about production in LA, and that right now we're averaging about 3,000 filming days a year versus 7,000 just 3 years ago.
That's a tough road to hoe.
Yeah.
I do love these more than, all the people, why do you have so many people on once? Because it's more fun. You have more,
opinions,
input, more opinions. You learn a hell of a lot more. I just love this kind of stuff. Somebody mentioned your name yesterday, Kristen, and I had to almost punch him.
Uh-oh.
Because he just wouldn't stop raving about you, and I got sick of it. Just kidding. They do. They were raving about you. I want you to know that. They really love you on this show.
Appreciate
But
it.
people really, really like when we have a number of people in studio talking about movies or the interview parts of it. I just love them anyway, and the listeners love this stuff because I mean they're going to go and watch your movie. I'm going to go watch your movie on Netflix right now. So you make how do you make your dough? They just send you a big check. Is that the plan?
Big? I don't know about big.
Yeah, they've switched.
I mean, our movie was made independently, so it was a Netflix bought it or whatever. But
so you don't get paid like per stream. So you don't want me to like put the movie on.
No.
Dogs.
We want you to
put the movie on for my dogs.
Everyone play it for their
streaming
pets,
it on your
please.
phone right now
Yes.
as we're on his.
Stream it for your pets. I love it. Yeah, they bought it. They brought it in, right? So it's a little different than something that they built in house.
Okay,
but
they liked it enough to make it a Netflix original. So they made it. That's kind of they put their weight and their money and their marketing behind it. They thought they liked it enough to do that. So we got the full premiere and all that kind of stuff, which a lot of independent films that are bought by Netflix show up and they fit where they are. But yeah, it's been like we said, like Brian said earlier, it's been great.
And billboards too. I've seen pictures that you guys posted of
there's
billboards.
different parts of the process that are exciting. It's obviously making the movies exciting, all that. But I have to say, because we've been in LA for 20 years, having our movie on the billboard
on Sunset Boulevard
for something that
that's amazing.
We're gonna drive out there, take a picture of that.
That was a moment for us, definitely.
That is a wonderful thing.
Yeah,
you're gonna love that. And I used to work for Capitol Records, and I had an office in the Capitol Records Tower and all the rest of it. My daughter just went out on her 10th wedding anniversary. And of course, took a picture of the Capitol Records Tower. It's like, look, that's where your office used to be. If you guys can stick around for just a few minutes on the show, that'd be wonderful. You other hunyucks like Kristen and
I gotta go work.
Oh God, pardon. Tim, thank you so much for hanging.
Some of us gotta work for a living. Yeah, it's been great. I love this. I love sticking around and talking with everybody. And again, Adam and Brian, I am so excited about this evening at the TCFF. So we'll see you guys later. And everybody else, have a great weekend.
Timmy, thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Kristen, another brilliant performance. That's all I have to say.
Doing my best. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Yeah. So how long you guys got? Like say 15 minutes.
We've got more. We've got more time.
15 is about right. Yeah.
Okay, that'll be good. So you got to get out of here by about 5 after or 10 after.
10 after, I think.
10 after 10.
Yeah.
That'll be perfect because we'll take about 7 minutes to set it up. So that'll be wonderful.
Cool.
All right, you two. What do you guys got going now?
Shoulder to the wheel, working all day.
Yeah, I gotta go work.
You got to go work.
I gotta go work.
And you got to go work.
Yeah.
All right. We'll just be here BSing. It'll
All right.
be wonderful. Family shows up next.